Hello, everybody. Welcome to DVU Podcast. I am Harry Hancock, and with me here today is a very special athlete here on campus. She is an athlete. She's been riding horses for quite a long time, and it's all finally paying off, or has been. She is part of the Equestrian team, and they are heading to Nationals this weekend. With me is the captain of the Equestrian team, Rachel Salera. How you doing, Rachel?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you so much for doing the interview. This is a really big deal for your club.
Yeah, it is certainly a big deal, so thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. So you guys are going to Nationals this weekend, right?
Next week. We're going to leave on Tuesday.
Going to be leaving on Tuesday. What's the date of that? Do you even know?
I believe it is the 2nd or the 3rd.
2nd or the 3rd. So once school's almost wrapping up,
correct.
You guys will be going to Nationals. So for people that don't know too much about riding horses, other than that you can ride a horse, what is Nationals? Like, what are the events that are done there, where that you guys will be taking part in?
So Nationals is run by the Intercollegiate Horse Show Association. They are the governing body for collegiate riding. They have levels of riding and classes that people can compete in, from beginners, so walk trot's the lowest level, to open. Open is kids that have been competing at a high level most of their life. You get placed into a level when you're a freshman or whatever your first year is on the team by a written piece of paper, just basically telling us about your experience or whatever. And then you start at that level and can progress up over the years that you're here by accumulating points at regular season horse shows. Western and Huntsy compete at the same national final, and they show separately during the regular season and then the first steps of postseason, but at Nationals they're joined back together. We have one individual national qualifier on the Western discipline, and then we've qualified 2 individuals on the hunt seat side as well as an entire team.
Okay. Now, you just mentioned Western and hunt seat. What is the difference? I don't know the specifics as to what they are. So what is the key difference between those two?
So the key difference is the saddles. The Western has like a big horn on the front, whereas the jumping saddles for hunt seat are a lot smaller, minus the horn, less leather.
Yeah.
What you're asking of the horses is different. So for the hunt seat side, we have jumping classes, so the horses go over fences and then also do a flat portion. For the Western, they have reining, which is when they kind of do their sliding stops and spins and all of that kind of stuff. And they also do a horsemanship class, which is the same as a flat class. They walk, jog, lope, and then have to do a pattern as well. The attire is different. Imagine Western as like the cowboys you see.
Really? So you guys wear chaps?
They have chaps, the cowboy hat, the big buckles, the whole 9 yards.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and then hunt seat's more traditional. We just wear like riding pants and hunt coats. That's kind of like a sport jacket and a riding helmet.
Okay. Now, how many teams go to Nationals? Equestrian teams go to this thing?
So I believe that there are 8 regions across the country and 8 zones across the country, and 2 teams go from each zone, so 16, somewhere around there.
Wow.
It's quite a qualifying process to get there, so I believe that there's over 400 teams in the country.
Wow.
And 16 get to go on to Nationals.
So you guys are one of the 16. So you guys have had to have done amazing this year, right?
It's a process. We start at the regional level, so we show in regular season horse shows against the same group of schools. There's about 9 that show every weekend, and as a team, we accumulate points throughout the season. If we've accumulated the most points at the end of the season, we move on to zones. Zones is made up of all of the other schools in like a certain area who have won their region. Yeah, exactly. Who have won their region, and then they go on to the zone finals. If you're top 2 at zones, then you get to move on to Nationals. So it's quite a long process. You know, we do placement rides for our equestrian team in September, and we're just going to Nationals now, so it's definitely a long journey. Yeah.
Now, can individuals just go to Nationals, or does it have to be the whole team has to go?
So individuals can qualify as well. For team, we select 8 riders to go on. Some can do like more than one level. So this year we have 7 riders that we're taking for team riders.
Okay.
You can also qualify individually. So individually, you accumulate a certain amount of points throughout the year. When you get to 36 points, you point out of that level. So if I'm in walk trot and I've accumulated 36 points, I move up to walk trot canter. When I move up, I've qualified in a level below.
Okay.
Then they go on to regionals, which is just a horse show for individual qualifiers, and all of the individuals that have moved up from the level below them get to show there. If you're top 2 at regionals, then you get to go on to zones. Same thing as team. If you're top 2 at zones, you get to go on to nationals. So we're sending 2 this year.
Gotcha.
On the Hunt Seat side, and then 1 on the western side.
Okay. Now, a point, just to be clear for all listeners that don't know a lot about horse riding, like myself, a point is basically just not screwing up.
So a point is there's many people in your class that you show against. There can be, anywhere from 6 and up. Sometimes there's 10, sometimes there's 12, sometimes there's 15.
Yeah.
Whatever. It moves up. So each ribbon that's awarded, so first place through 6th place, has like a numerical value to it. So if you win your class, you get 7 points. If you're second in your class, you get 5, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way down to 6th. So that's how you accumulate points.
Gotcha. Now, to get into the specifics of nationals, where are they held?
Nationals are held at the Horse Park in Lexington, Kentucky.
So you guys are going to Kentucky?
Yep, we will fly out to Kentucky on Tuesday night.
Wow, that's very exciting.
Yeah,
so
we're thrilled.
I guess that makes sense. Kentucky is always, that's like been like the, I guess like more country kind of stuff, right?
It is the horse capital of the world.
Is
it's
it?
exciting.
Okay.
They actually have Rolex, which is a huge event out there this weekend. They held the high school version of what we do last week, and then next week we'll be there for nationals, which is the same week as the Kentucky Derby week. So a lot going on in Kentucky. We're pretty excited to be going out there. The National Horse Show rotates where it's located every year. So it's been in Springfield and then Harrisburg twice in the time that I've been here.
Okay. Now, how many people are on the equestrian team at Del Val?
So
in total
between the Western and the Hunt Seat side, we have around 80 active members.
80 active members. And then once the year is over, you pick the top 8 to go to nationals?
Yes, so the coaches pick the top person that they feel is best to represent each level, to move on and represent us at zones and then at nationals. Nothing's set in stone that if you ride at zones, you have to ride at nationals, but we usually take the same kids from zones onto the National Horse Show as well.
Now, you'll be riding at nationals.
Yep.
What events will you specifically be doing?
I will be riding an open, team open flat, which is the highest. Open is the highest level, so it's open, intermediate, novice, walk trot, canter, and walk trot. So open flat is the highest flat level class that you can ride at nationals.
Gotcha. So flat level, you don't do jumps.
No jumping. No, you will
Trot. You walk around.
You'll walk, trot, and canter, and get tested in various ways on the flat with 16 other riders from all of those other teams that I mentioned had qualified for nationals.
Yeah. Now, when you do a competition like that and you have, the best of the best going up against you, you have to ask the question, the interviewer has to ask, how do you really think you're going to do?
We think of it kind of as gravy going to nationals. It's a really big deal to get through zones. We have a very competitive zone. We show against Centenary, Udell, Rutgers, and I'm sure there's one other. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. But we show against them. Centenary's won at nationals a few times. So, to even be in there with them, to be second with them at zones, and then to go on to compete, you're showing against the best of the best.
Yeah.
The best we've been is 4th, which is, amazing.
Yeah.
We'd love to be up there again.
Yeah.
But realistically, it's, how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, 4th out of, the top 16 in the nation. I'm assuming that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, since this is your last trip to nationals, since you are a senior, you're going to be graduating. Not to get too emotional, I don't want you crying on me in here. What are you going to miss most about going to nationals? Because you said you went last year and this year, but you've been on the team all 4 years. So what are you going to miss most about even just being on the team or going any of it?
So it's been a real privilege to have been able to be on this team. The equine world outside of IHSA riding is kind of completely different. It's very individualized. There's nothing team oriented, and I kind of grew up living in that world, showing for yourself, by yourself. It's completely different to be on a team. It's such a fabulous opportunity to get to be a key player in a group. Everybody's points count, everybody's effort counts, those morning workouts count, all of that hard work, those hours of riding without stirrups and, all those extra practices, late night, early morning. It's really nice when it pays off in a situation like nationals. But as far as what I'll miss the most is mostly like getting the opportunity to be a part of a team, and in particular, a really hard-working group of people that happen to be on this team.
Yeah, and also, for any listeners that may not know, this isn't like baseball and basketball and football where schools are separated by like D1, D2, D3. This is the best of the best. And, Del Val, every year since you've been here, they've been the top of the line. They've done the best that they can for, horseback riding and the whole equine program that's here. Can you... who are the 8 people that are going? Like, has that been announced by your team? So, like, who are they?
Yep. So we'll take Abby Guest for walk trot, Kim David for walk trot canter, Emily Wilmot for novice flat end fences, Olivia Gardner for intermediate flat, Allie Benes for intermediate fences, myself for open flat, and then Renee Russo for open fences.
Nice. Congratulations to all of them that she just named. Fantastic job all season for everybody. Good congratulations for you.
Thank you.
Who are the coaches, so that if there's any listeners that are interested in becoming, a part of the whole horseback riding team or the equine team, who can they contact?
So they can contact Corey Kieschnick. She is the head of the equine department. We also have an assistant coach who is Sierra Menkins. You can email her as well if you have any questions. We're more than welcome to take anyone on. Placement rides are in the fall, but if you're interested halfway through, let us know and we'll be happy to try to make it work for you.
Yeah, maybe we'll see if we can get Big Harry on a horse.
That would really be something. We'd love to see you. We'd love to see you.
So bad for the horse. That poor horse, if it had to carry me, you'd have to get a Clydesdale, I think. Do they race Clydesdales?
Oh, Harry.
No, are they just strictly for pulling the Budweisers?
I think that we'll keep them for the Budweiser. They probably won't be doing any jumping in nationals.
Gotcha. Thank you so much for doing the interview.
Thank you for having me.
Good luck with the rest of nationals and graduation.
Thank you.
Good job for all your 4 years here riding horses, and congratulations to all the other people that she listed, and congratulations to the other 80 members of the team. You guys put a lot of work in, it sounds like, and it's nice to see a team excelling here at Del Val, and it's nice to see people being a part of it. I wanted to thank you guys again for doing the interview, and good luck with nationals.
Thank you very much.
Yep, no problem. I am Harry Hancock for DVU Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook. We are the podcast club at DVU or Del Val. You can follow us on Twitter. Our username is at DVU Podcast. And let us know what you want to hear about, maybe different topics that you want to see what's going on with, and we'll be happy to oblige you. For DVU Podcast, I am Harry Hancock, and thank you all for listening.